Hello everyone, welcome back to Pleasant Valley. I am going to do something different today because I won't be using my roleplay mode. Um, Usually, when I record these sessions, I will try to adhere to some sort of role playing, like not mentioning this is a map or speaking about certain mods that I use to make this all happen. I say try to because I don't always succeed in that. Um, I know that also my English isn't perfect. I use a lot of stop words like I I'll try to be aware of that and avoid wherever possible. But it takes some time to adapt to that. That being said, I am doing something different today because I want to tell you more about how I work with the mods and everything to make the sessions or the roleplay episodes. As you may or may not know, this is a 16x map, which is really gigantic. Driving somewhere takes a lot of time. I tried to do a test driving from one corner to the next and timing it, but that I haven't done that yet. I will do it during the recording of this, so I will tell you by the end. But it driving takes a lot of time. That's why I will be using a lot of jump cuts. I hope that will not be too bothering to you, to the viewer, but it is necessary. I may try to do some time lapses during driving just to switch it up sometimes, but I have to be honest that I don't always am the best, or I'm not always the best driver, so try to I'll try to work on that, but I sometimes end up in a ditch or whatever, just because I'm not too focused. But what I also do in between recordings is, or during recordings, is actually using a certain mod called teleport, which is really not a luxury when you're working on this map. I will not record me using the mod during the episodes, but I'm not going to lie about what I have to use to make this feasible. Teleport allows me to, well, teleport a machine and its implements or whatever, or trailers from one point anywhere on the map. That's why I always have the, how do you call it, the larger minimap on my screen, and that's why I also record in a different resolution. Um, I actually have a triple monitor setup, and I am using uh, surround to make my um, game window bigger, and then I only record the middle screen. But on my side screens, I do have the enlarged minimap open, so that I can use it to jump, but also to see where I need to drive, where I need to go. As I said, this map is really huge, and I haven't adapted or learned all the roads that I need to take yet. So having it open really helps. Also, while you may have noticed that I'm using Courseplay, and having the map open, it allows to see where certain vehicles are on this minimap. Um, as I'm recording this, I'm actually doing a test for one of the next episodes, which is harvesting a field. But as you can see, Courseplay isn't really playing nice. I'll quickly intervene. I do these tests because I didn't use Courseplay a lot in the past, and I want to see if it really works before I actually start to record this, the next session. And I have to say that I really ran into some problems that will make it a lot more difficult. I'm still trying to figure out what I will do to work around them. One of those problems is that Courseplay normally, or in FS 17 actually, it had a overloader mode, but it has not yet been implemented in the version for Farming Simulator 19. And that is really a bummer because I was going to harvest the bigger fields with 5 combines and then have 2 or 3 overloaders driving around to unload the combines. Um, well, since that mode isn't working, that's not going to happen. And that means that I have to drive the overloader myself, but I can't keep up with 5 combines. So that's a bit of a problem. So one solution could be to narrow it down to 4 combines instead of 5, which would still be feasible. I have already done some testing before, a few days ago actually, and then I had the problem of not being able to keep up. I'm curious if there's a change now. I changed the XML files a bit to make the yields as well as the prices more realistic. I based the yields and the prices on data that I found on the internet. They are not, how do you say it? They are not directly related to the type of weather and conditions to be found in this area, which I don't really know. I know if you play Seasons that you have a geofile that you can download for this, but I haven't checked this. But the data I used is from basically all over the world. Um, some crop types I found yields from Germany, other crop types from the United States, from India, from all over the world. I used certain yields or prices. Um, this is mustard, and I don't know if I changed the yield for this a lot or not, but I will have to check and see if there's a difference or not. One downside to having tampered with the yields is that now basically two trucks can keep up with the combines, at least for this field. Yes, it's empty now, but it's just because there was a trailer just right now. So that really makes it pointless in using a mother bin or a field bin, which was something I really wanted to do because it looks really neat. So that's still a downside, even or even more so if I lower the amount of combines to 4, because then even one truck and a half would be able to keep up with the combine. So that's really annoying. I also found some problems with certain machines. For instance, I downloaded a different mod for the transport motorcycle. I downloaded a new mod for the chaser bin that I'm using now, because it wasn't able to reach over the side of the field bin. I also downloaded a new field bin mod for the same reason. I've been trying other overloader bins, but they also had problems unloading into the field bin, so I've tried several options, and I haven't really found a good one yet. For now, I'm working with two field bins, where I drive one to unload the 5 combines, then drive it to the field bin to unload, and meanwhile grab the other tractor to start unloading the others again. But they always end up, the combines always end up waiting for the field bin, so for the chaser bin actually. So that's really annoying. It doesn't speed up the process really, more slow it down. So I don't really have a solution for that yet. Some other problems I ran into is with loading trailers. I mentioned in the machine tour that we would be driving road trains for hauling grain and crops and everything. The problem with that is that Courseplay doesn't play nice with road trains, or even with single trailers if you're using one of the Wilson trailers, because it has 2 compartments. It will only load one compartment by itself, and the same for a road train. It will only load one trailer and then drive on. So that's not really a good solution in my book. So I might still buy road trains and just drive the road train myself and have regular trucks driving with Courseplay as being workers. I do have Courseplay set up to pay wages to workers, just so to make it more realistic, that I am actually paying people to haul the crops, to drive the combines and everything like that. So that I hope that adds some to the realism. But those are some of the minor problems I already ran into. I will be replacing the 2 combines that I showed in the machine tour, but they will be replaced by the same type. It's just a different mod. The mod that allows me to put a number on the machine like this. So this is actually the 4280 that's going to replace the mod that I have used for Beastbine. And that should be number 2 then, and that's the one with the duals on it. And that's also an 8240. But the other 3 combines I bought, those are 9240, I think, from the same mod. It's a mod that actually, let's see, there's 8240. It's actually a mod that allows to change the type. I think it's 7240, 8240, 9240. And then you can add the numbers 1 to 6 on the combines. And that was just to keep track of which combine I need to unload first, because they are driving circular right now and I want to keep unloading them in the same order. And why is he not unloading? Oh yeah, I didn't start him yet. That's the one that crashed into the other one before, so I will quickly restart him. As you can see, starting a course for a field this big, even if it's 5 machines, it takes a little time to process it all. Are there any other mods that I replaced? I don't think so. I will be recording only part of the harvest, like the start and the finish, or maybe the entire harvest of a smaller field. But in between, I will be using different mods to continue or to speed up the harvest because it takes so long on such big fields. Just to show you which field we are harvesting right now, it's this one over here. As you can see, there's 5 combines running on it right now. And you see that's really huge, that field. So I will grab a few harvesters that have an increased working speed and have a practically unlimited capacity so that I don't have to overload them, and after recording the initial start and show you how it's done, then I will switch over to another combine and have it harvest on its own, maybe use a larger header in combination with the faster working speed and the unlimited capacity. That way I don't have to wait hours until the field is finished with harvesting. I will also show you every field being harvested. I mean, there's just too many fields. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 fields. I will not be showing you all of them. I will do it in between recordings, and those fields I will also harvest with combines or harvesters that with increased speed, increased work width, increased capacity. Of course, I will show you several harvests. I'm not just going to show you the one field because there are several crop types, several types of harvesters needed for those, like for the onions and carrots or peanuts. Also a different type of harvester. Also the lavender has a different type of harvester. So yeah, that's basically what's going to happen for harvesting. Also for moving the crops from the field to the silo, and afterwards for hauling. I will show you part of the hauling, and when that's done and I stop the recording, then I will take out a trailer with increased capacity to speed everything up. To actually be able to do that, I had to tamper with the weight of the fill types, because loading a trailer with 200,000 or 300,000 liters of crop will make it pretty much stationary. It will no longer move at a certain amount of crop in it. So I reduced the weight a lot, like divided by a million or something like that, so that I could literally load millions of liters in one trailer and then move it in one go. That has the reduced or the added effect that there's no physics on the trailers when loading or unloading. Farming Simulator has physics built in that if you load a trailer, you will see the suspension going down and stuff like that. And what mostly would happen if you didn't change the mass of the fill types is that the drawbar would push the back of the tractor down, pushing the wheels in the air, the front wheels in the air, so that you couldn't drive anymore. You could say, why don't you put on a weight? Well, 2,000 kilogram weight is not going to do anything against 10,000 tons of crop. So that's why. I hope that by telling you guys these kind of things, it doesn't really take away the enjoyment of watching the videos, the roleplay videos. It's just that I feel some people would be curious to know how it would be possible to do it, and I don't want to hold an illusion to you guys that I can do these things or that I have so much time to do all these things. I'm not gonna lie, it's a 16x map. I can't do this on my own without cheating. This map would be really great for multiplayer, but I'm not going into that yet. Maybe later in the future, but for now I'm not going to touch that yet. I never really actually played multiplayer except for with a friend, but then multiplayer locally between us two on a local machine, so not on a dedicated server. I will, when this trailer is full, I will show you the, how do you say it, the teleport. You won't be able to see what I do on the minimap because you can't obviously see the minimap, but you will see the effect in game. Um, Something more about the speedometer and money counter and everything. I tried to do an overlay because you wouldn't be able to see them because they're cut off from the recording. I hope doing it this way is a good solution for the viewers. I will evaluate that. Maybe it doesn't bother you if you don't see it at all, but I think it's nicer to see how much there is in a trailer and everything. When I'm done unloading this trailer, I will also tell you a bit more about the factories. But guys, because I think it's a really cool system that the mod developer made for this map. I don't know if you have played this map or other maps from this creator before, but he really did a good system. I think he started it on Farming Simulator 17 with the scripting he did for building the factories, and he continued it into Farming Simulator 90, which is really cool. As you can see over here, Combine 5 and 1 have been fighting again. The reason that this happens is actually because Combine 1 doesn't cut an entire width of its header, and that causes the Combine to fill up much slower than Combine 5, and that's why he runs into him. I'll quickly return it to where it last stopped before I unload it. It has to do with the working width. of the combines, it's set to 13.7 meters, but I think the width is actually a tiny bit bigger, and each pass of the field, the first combine has a bit less to cut, and that's why it fills up a lot slower, and why it can keep on driving a lot longer than Combine 5, causing it to crash into Combine 5 with the result that you saw. So you may think that by cheating I make it myself a lot more easy, a lot easier, but now you can see that there's actually a lot of problems that I run into to actually, or that I have to solve before it actually runs smoothly. Should have picked a tractor that drives faster than 43 kilometers per hour. I don't believe using the GBC Fast Track would be credible with such a big trailer. There's the second combine already coming up. I'll quickly teleport with this one. So I just have to push a button on, but the enlarged minimap has to be open. Can't do it on a small minimap. And then just press Alt T and then click on the minimap where I want to go. In this case, it's somewhere close to the field bin, and that's how I do it. Up, I popped over here. Because this map is so big, it's not really accurate. On a 4x map, it's a lot more accurate because, you know, the minimap is the same size, but everything is closer together. I'll quickly empty this one out. I tried using this one, but it won't load in the field bin properly. So I'll quickly dump it into this one. I'll quickly teleport again to the store to sell them. Not that it matters. This is actually a backup that I make. After every recording, I make a backup of the save game, so that when I experiment and it doesn't go the way I want it to, that I still have my backup. So popping over to the store now. And there we go. And yes, of course, we get stuck in a building. That happens sometimes. Again, stuck in a building. You can't really see it right now, but this way you can. So let's try again. There we are. By the way, I did use the correct volumes for trailers that I used during the recordings. I downloaded a bunch of the Wilson trailers. I downloaded a mod because they had back attacher, like this one over here. The original one didn't have that, and then I changed the fill capacity to whatever it is in a brochure that I found from Wilson. So they are realistic, but then again, since they don't work with the road trains, that's really a bummer.